Jefferson County Court, law number 2 is in session. The court is in session with its jail review docket on today's date of October 17th of 2024. First case is Josue Israel Gutierrez. Mr. Gutierrez, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gutierrez, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gutierrez, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Gutierrez? You doing all right? Mr. Gutierrez, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Charles Rojas. Attorney Rojas, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge, thank you.
And Mr. Rojas, do you waive a record in Mr. Gutierrez's case?
We do, Your Honor.
State is represented in this case by Attorney Andrew Hubel. Attorney Hubel, how are you doing?
Doing well, Judge. Yourself?
I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Mr. Gutierrez, in cause number M331048, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Gutierrez, it alleges that you, Josue Israel Gutierrez, on or about October 31st of 2021, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of assault, family violence. Mr. Gutierrez, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to this charge, Mr. Gutierrez, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Guilty? Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Gutierrez, I also have before me on my tablet a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment, is also labeled as State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And are these your initials at the bottom of the document, the lower paragraph that states citizenship? If you're not a U.S. citizen or plead guilty, another contingent may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials on the line next to the box that says guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, sir.
Okay. On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document that's titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your citizen signature on the line that's titled defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box says check states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
The second box says check states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement? I also have another document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled
Yes, sir.
defendant? Mr. Gutierrez, before you signed and initialed these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand everything that he went over?
Yes, sir. I understand.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes.
to the best of your knowledge? Now, Mr. Gutierrez, you're not a U.S. citizen, is that correct?
That's correct.
And what country are you from?
Mexico.
Mexico? I have before me a document that is titled English Statement Number 1 for all foreign nationals except those from mandatory notification countries. And Mr. Gutierrez, the last sentence in this document states, asks the question, do you want us to notify your consular officers at this time? And the word no is circled. And did you sign this document?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Gutierrez, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand everything that he went over?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Stay
State,
up or stay sworn.
No objection.
no objection, state's exhibit number 1 will be admitted Mr. Rojas, you've advised and counseled Mr. Gutierrez. Is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
And you've also not, pursuant to the case of Padilla versus Kentucky, did you advise Mr. Gutierrez of the consequences of him not being a citizen and by him pleading guilty in this case?
I did.
Okay. Now, Mr. Gutierrez, your attorney has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Mhm.
Okay, Mr. Gutierrez, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I'll also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
For defendant's plea of guilty, the state has offered 90 days time served. Court calls tax and retired in this case. State will be dismissed, submitting dismissal in both cases M328, 814, and M332, 190.
Okay, Mr. Gutierrez, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you would not be required to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you've already served 90 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you have already served. The court costs in this case will be taxed and retired. That simply means that you will not be required to pay the court costs because the time that you spent in jail has already paid off the court costs. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. And the state will also be dismissing the companion cases, cause numbers M328, 814, and cause number 24 CCCR 0885. Mr. Gutierrez, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Correct, and yes.
This was,
Okay.
Yes, yes.
And
sir.
do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Gutierrez, I will follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Gutierrez, this will conclude your case here. Now, your attorney has handed you a document that is titled Model Written Ammunition on Ineligibility to Possess a Firearm or Ammunition. I'm going to go over this document with you, and it states as follows. In accordance with the Texas Administrative Code, Section 176.1, the court hereby admonishes you of the following. Number one, you are by entry of order or judgment ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Number two, beginning now, if you possess a firearm or ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Number three, under Texas Penal Code Section 46.013, A, firearm means any device designed, made, or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by an explosion or burning substance or any device readily convertible to that use. B, firearm does not include a firearm that may have as an integral part a folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapon made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, and that is one, an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, or two, a replica of an antique or curio firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if the replica does not use rimfire or centerfire ammunition. The statutes listed below are a starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts, the court recommends you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure Article 17.292, Magistrate's Order for Emergency Protection. Code of Criminal Procedure Article 42.0131, Notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code Section 46.02, unlawful carrying weapons. Penal Code Section 46.04, unlawful possession of firearm. Penal Code Section 25.07, violation of certain court orders or conditions of bond in a family violence, child abuse or neglect, sexual assault or abuse, indecent assault, stalking, or trafficking case. Family Code Section 85.026, warning on protective orders. Now, Mr. Gutierrez, the written admonition that you have in your hand is for your records. You're gonna stand in front of the court coordinator, follow the directions of the bailiff. And once you finish following the directions of the bailiff, you can follow the bailiff, and you have a blessed day.
And Judge, could you, to be clear, just repeat one more time the cause numbers to be dismissed?
M 328-814 and cause number 24 CCCR 0885.
That's not.
We don't.
Oh, I mean, okay. Okay, it's M 332-190. Is
Thank
the
you,
other,
thank you.
okay. Thank you. You need to give him Mr.
I'm here. They ready?
Yeah, hold on a minute. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is in session. The court is in session in case of Adrian Jerome Carter. Mr. Carter, is that your full name?
Yes.
Mr. Carter, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Carter, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Mr. Carter, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Carter? I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking, Mr. Carter. You're represented in your case, on your cases by your attorney, Attorney Langston Adams, who is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Adams, how are you doing?
Oh, doing well.
Mr. Adams, do you waive a record in Mr. Carter's case?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Carter, the state is represented in this case by Attorney Kyle Gasper. Attorney Gasper, how are you doing?
I'm good, Judge. Thank you for asking.
Mr. Carter, I have before me a document on my computer that is titled Information. This information was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Adrian Jerome Carter, on or about August 13th of 2022, while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Second, this information further alleges that prior to the commission of this offense, on October 16 of 2014, in cause number 302101 in the county court at law number 3 of Jefferson County, Texas, that you were convicted of the offense relating to the operating of a motor vehicle while intoxicated. Is that true or not true?
Unfortunately, not true.
So you never was convicted of a prior DWI in October 16 of 20? That's what I'm asking. Is that true or not true?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, to the offense of driving while intoxicated, second, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Mr. Carter, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. It is also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Do you recognize this document? You do? On page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials AC on the line next to a box that's checked nolo contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document? On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature? And on the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification, a defendant's right of appeal, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? You understand that statement? It states that this is a plea bargain case. You are entering into a plea bargain with the state. And because of that, you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Hold on. You just only had 1 box checked. The next document is titled Discovery Certification. You recognize this document? Is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant? Is this your signature? Okay.
Your Honor, I need to sign that one still.
And I also have another document that is titled Joint Request for Plea and/or Sentencing by Video Conference under Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 27.18. This document gives your attorney the right to appear by Zoom. Do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the document? Okay. And Mr. Carter, Before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney, Mr. Adams, go over these documents with you? And did you understand everything that Mr. Adams went over? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? State, you have any evidence?
State offers states one.
Um, the state is offering state's exhibit number 1 to be offered into evidence. Mr. Adams, do you have any objections to state's exhibit number 1?
No objection.
Okay. And Mr. Adams, you've advised and counseled Mr. Carter, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None.
And Mr. Carter, your attorney, Mr. Adams, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
And Mr. Carter, you are a citizen of the United States, is that correct? Mr. Carter, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea is freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state is offering 45 days in the Jefferson County Jail, credit for 13 days, and this is to run concurrent with 24 CCCR 1869.
What is this court cost? 64. Okay, Mr. Carter, the state is offering that you serve 45 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You will be given credit for the 13 days that you have already served. The court cost in this case is $392. Are you able to pay the $392 court cost today? You're not? Okay, Mr. Carter, I have before me a document that is titled Affidavit of Indigence. Hold on a minute.
Hey, Judge, if you don't mind, when I met with him last night, I know the state got him for 13 days, but he told me that he's been in jail since June. So if he's been in jail that long, we would ask for his full credit.
He been in Jefferson County Jail?
Yeah,
He told me he had.
These 2 WIs last year, they say we're supposed to give him credit for those too. I saw 18 days and 7 days.
Let me read.
Hold on a
double check
minute. Okay, hold on, they're gonna check. Okay. Okay, now let's see, that's credit for 18. Okay, Miss Gaster, could you please repeat the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor. In exchange for defendant's plea, the state is offering 45 days in the Jefferson County jail, credit for 18 days. And this is to run concurrent with defendant's other case, 24 CCCR 1869.
Okay, and Mr. Carter, you stated that you cannot pay the court costs of $392 today, is that correct? Now, Mr. Carter, I'm going to show you a document that is titled Affidavit of Indigence. I'm gonna hand this document to the bailiff. He's gonna hand it to you. Do you recognize that document? If you turn that page over to the next page, there's a signature at the top left-hand corner. Is that your signature where it says defendant signature? Now, is everything in that document still true and correct today? It is? Okay, Mr. Carter, the court is gonna find that you're indigent. Based on the finding of indigency, the court costs in this case of $392 will be waived pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. That means you won't have to pay it. Do you understand that? Now, the state will also run this case concurrent with cause number 24 CCCR 1869. Do you understand that? And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Carter, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Carter, we will move on to your next case. Your next case is cause number 24 CCCR 1869. And in this case, Mr. Carter, I have before me an information that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. And in this information, it also alleges that on or about July 6th of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of driving while intoxicated. Second, Mr. Carter, do you understand what you've been charged with in this case? And yes, now this case further alleges that on or about July 6th of 2023, while you operated in the motor vehicle in public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that prior to the commission of this offense, that on October 16th, 2014, in cause number 302101 in County Court at Law number 3 of Jefferson County, Texas, that you were convicted of an offense relating to operating of a motor vehicle. Is that true or not true?
Say August.
No, back in October 16 of 2014, before you committed this offense, that you was convicted of a DWI or driving or operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated in cause number 302101 in the County Court at Law number 3. Huh? You can't remember?
October 2014.
Yeah, and do you have a prior DWI?
That a long time ago.
Right, that's what I'm talking about. This is the date that they're saying, October 16 of 2014. Okay. That's what you was convicted of. Okay? Now, so that is true. Now, to the offense, the DWI, driving while intoxicated. Second, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Now, Mr. Carter, I also have before me a document on my tablet that is titled misdemeanor plea admonishment. Do you recognize this document? This is a document that you and your attorney went over on yesterday. Okay, on page 2 of this same document, there's a set of initials, AC on the line next to a box that's titled no continuity. Did you place your initials on this document? And on page 3 of the same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signatures? Okay. And on the next document, this document is titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. You recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant? Now, at the top of this document, there's one box that's checked. The box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement? On the next document, where's the one on paper? Give me that document back. The one is discovery certification. You might have 2 numbers on there.
Yes, Langston put both clause
Okay.
numbers.
And again, I'm showing this document that is titled discovery certification. You recognize this document? And that's your signature on the line that's titled defendant, is that correct? Now, before you sign and initial all of these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand everything that your attorney went over? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? And state, would you like to offer state's exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor, state offers states 1.
Any objections, Mr. Adams?
No objection.
Okay, no objection, state's exhibit number 1 will be admitted. And Mr. Adams, you've advised that counsel, Mr. Carter, in this case as well, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial? Ms. Adams, is there any evidence?
Yes, sir.
Is there any evidence?
No, it's no evidence that he's incompetent. None.
Okay. Mr. Carter, you're satisfied with your services of your attorney in this case? Okay, Mr. Carter, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
And what is the agreement?
In exchange for defendant's plea, the state is offering 45 days in the Jefferson County Jail, credit for 18 days. And this is to run concurrent with 24 CCCR 1864.
Okay, what is the court cost in this case? $392. Mr. Carter, the state is offering that you serve 45 days in Jefferson County Jail. You'll be given credit for the 18 days that you've already served. The court cost in this case is $392. You will not be required to pay the $392 because the court has previously found that you were indigent pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. The court costs in this case will be waived. And this case will run concurrent with the previous case, cause number 24 CCCR 1864. Mr. Carter, do you understand the state's offer? Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Carter, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Carter, please stand in front of the, or next to the bailiff, follow his direction. Once you finish following his direction, you can follow him, and you have a blessed day.
I don't- If we can, if not, Judge, then we can wait on it.
On what?
I think he wants to approach with Mr. Boudreaux.
Okay,
I've sent in a few, but
okay. Hold on. Okay, we're in Herman Parsons cases.
Yes, sir.
Once you get Herman Parson, pull Herman Parson. Okay, court is in session in three cases. Cause number 24 CCCR 1564, cause number 24 CCCR 1605, cause number 24 CCCR 1612. All three cases are styled the state of Texas versus Herman Clyde Parson. And Mr. Parson is present with his attorney, Attorney Don Boudreaux. Attorney Boudreaux, how are you doing?
Just fine, sir.
And Mr. Parsons, how are you doing? That's good. And Mr. Hubel, you and Mr. Boudreaux want to approach the court?
Yes, Your Honor. It's come to my attention that yesterday, with this defendant, we received, a couple new felony cases, including an assault family case with the
Okay.
same complaining witness as these cases.
Okay.
Your Honor. So I'm uncertain as to, what the court and what, Mr. Boudreaux want to do with these cases at this point, just based on the fact that there's a received felony with the same complaining witness. And they're both of similar facts.
Okay. So, I mean, these cases are set on the porch. There would be knocking all these cases out of the same criminal episode or?
They're of different criminal episodes. Defense counsel has an offer, but, Mr. Boudreaux, did you want to move on these cases today or do, based on the,
Your Honor, I was told by the DA that they're thinking that they may want to file a felony charge on him. He's never had a felony before. He says that he had one misdemeanor about 15 years ago. He's been in jail now, going on to 3 weeks. What I suggested to the DA was to give him credit for the time that the one case that
What-
the offer is the offer,
Oh,
Don.
so you're trying to renegotiate?
The question was, whether you want to move forward on these cases today with the,
Yeah.
received felony, not,
So, well, basically what he's saying is that there's a possibility that some felonies will be coming down the pipe.
yes, sir, that's what
Okay.
I'm afraid of.
And
But I'm
the
not
decision that I know you're not appointed on the felonies. So the decision that you have to make is whether or not you want to go forward on these misdemeanors, knowing that there's some felonies coming down the pipe, or do you want to wait for him to be indicted on the felonies and see if you can wrap all of these cases up together?
I think that would probably be better, Judge, but I just got to talk to Andrew
Okay.
just a minute ago, so may I have just a couple more minutes
That's fine.
to talk
that's
to
fine.
him?
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, hold on a minute. We're gonna be in recess. Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session with cause number M 332428. Cause number M 332716. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Benjamin D. Barker, Benjamin Daniel Barker. Mr. Barker is present in court with his attorney, Attorney Benjamin Jeffers. Mr. Barker, how are you doing? And Mr. Jeffers, how are you doing?
Doing well, Your Honor, thank you.
And the court is here pursuant to Article 46B.054. Now, the court is going to conduct a trial in this case. Now, Mr. Jeffries, have you received a copy of the report that was provided by Dr. Edward Capon?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, before we go any further, pursuant to Article 1.24 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, all trials and proceedings shall be public. However, pursuant to the case of Lilly versus State 365 Southwest 3rd 321, the right to a public trial is not absolute and might be outweighed by other competing interests, such as the interest in security, to ensure that the defendant receives a fair trial, and to prevent the disclosure of non-public information. Mr. Jeffries, are you requesting that this portion of the hearing be closed to the public to prevent the disclosure of non-public information?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
The court finds that the party who's seeking the closure has an advanced and overriding interest that is likely to be prejudiced to his client in that it will disclose non-public information. The court has considered other reasonable alternatives. The court also finds that this request is not overbroad in this case. And the court has considered all other reasonable alternatives. And based on the court's finding, this proceeding shall be closed to the public.